Hey guys, welcome back to So You Call Yourself a Mom. I'm Ashley, your host, and today we're going to talk about boundaries with your baby. When he was born at the hospital, I had his dad, my mom, and my oldest sister, like for the birth. After the birth, whoever wanted to come, family wise, they were welcome to come. I didn't have too many like, oh no, I don't want this person. I didn't care. Like everybody wants to see a new baby when they're born. So come on. But also like as far as I think like a lot of family members, they just respected like our level of privacy. So they came and they left at like good times and nobody was like there all day just bothering us or, trying to hold them and stuff like that because it's kind of an unspoken rule that new parents, we're tired. We're trying to navigate this new baby. I didn't gave birth, like that's a strenuous task to do. And you don't really want to be bothered most of the time, but you also have this mindset of I know people want to see the baby. So I kind of gotta have a put on a smile and just deal with it. But also you kind of don't want too many people around them just because you don't know if people are sick, you don't know, what's going on. But I think that everybody pretty much for the most part respected that we're new parents. We gotta learn this and this is our child. So when we left the hospital, whoever really didn't come to the hospital, they came to the house afterwards. The first day we got home, not too many people came by, and I loved that just because we're trying to settle in. We had a lot going on postpartum with me, with the baby. So it was kind of like we had to navigate what all was going on in that aspect. But people came over, and it's kind of just like the unspoken boundaries. Do not kiss him. Do not, if you're sick, don't come with kids, his dad was more of a stickler than me, so it's kinda like I could tell, like, he was uncomfortable with kids holding him, but there's always an adult, with the kids or whatever. It was just pretty funny because he was always like, "Okay, here, hold him. Alright, give him back," I kinda just was like, "I'm tired. I don't care either way. Just don't drop my baby." But, he was on it, like he knew how to, like, swaddle the baby, all that, more than me. He meant, like, that baby was gonna be wrapped up at all times, and I'm like, "I think he's hot." He's, "Uh-uh." They said to keep him wrapped up, I'm keeping him wrapped up, put the pad on him. I was like, "Okay, you got it. Alright." Look, but a lot of the times we didn't really like, we stayed in the house for the whole 6 weeks. My mama was not having that, like, leaving other than appointments, we left for that, but you go to the appointment, you come back home. You're not stopping for food, you're not stopping to visit, no. You go, you come back. And so that's pretty much how we were the whole 6 weeks before, we were able to leave the house. But another boundary that we had was kinda just the don't I didn't like for people to leave out of the room where we were with the baby just because, like, I wanna see him. I wanna be around him at all times. He's a new baby, I wanna, so, a lot of the times, like, my mom, dad, they brought a chair in the room, they brought couches in there, so it was just like, "Okay, you wanna hold the baby? Here, have a seat." And I love that just because I was able to not necessarily monitor, but it was just kinda like I can see, my baby, and I know, like, a lot of people, like, if they cry, they're trying to, quiet them down so you don't hear it, but, when you hear that baby cry, "Give my baby back." But, so I was able to just kinda keep eyes on him at all times, and, once he got up or woke up or whatever, it was like, "Okay, time for him to eat," and I wasn't the type of person that, like honestly, I didn't care if people were in there while I fed him just because I was covered up and he was covered up, but it was just like I know a lot of people are, like, kinda iffy about that. It's like, "Okay, well, if I'm feeding the baby, then leave out the room or whatever." I was like, "Okay, whatever." I mean, if you're a woman, you know we have these and you know the baby has to eat. So, it was just kinda like that kinda unspoken rule. And a lot of times, it was mainly just family that came by and stuff like that. Like, I had friends and stuff that came by, but it was more so after the 6 weeks just because I didn't want a lot of people, like, a lot of different germs and stuff coming around him. And I didn't really care to have people like, if you have perfume on or something like that, like, I always ask that you have one of his blankets, like, on top of you because his skin was very sensitive, like, it was so sensitive. And that was another thing that, like, I was just like, "Okay, well, I don't wanna deal with this because after you leave, I gotta deal with, the skin issues because he had really bad, like, baby acne when he was a baby. and we did, like, breast milk bath, we did aqua, like, I took him to the doctor because I was like, "What's wrong with his skin?" He's like, "Oh, it's normal, like, babies, they have this," and so we just tried different things with that, but a lot of times, like, I didn't really have a lot of rules or stipulations when it came to him because it's just like I understood that people were gonna want to be around a new baby and stuff like that, so I was like, "Okay, whatever." But also, I didn't care to have a lot of opinions or a lot of advice that was unsolicited. So if I was doing something one way and you would prefer to have it done another way, keep that to yourself. This is my child. Let me learn. Then once I figure it out, I'll know like, okay, hey, this didn't work out too well, but I didn't need people telling me how to parent my child. That was my big stickler that I just hated. If it was something like, okay, like if somebody says like, "Oh, well, hey, instead of maybe burp him every 2 ounces rather than every 4 ounces," or whatever, I'm like, "Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That probably, isn't comfortable." But if you, like, tell me like, "Oh, well, he needs on socks," rather than you just wrapping him in a blanket, I was like, "Please get out my face." Like, I set boundaries as far as, like, those things just because I have to learn. Like I'm not gonna always have a crutch when it comes to the child. Like I'm not gonna always have somebody there to tell me how to do things. So I needed to learn it on my own. And I think for the most part, a lot of people kind of allowed me to do that. And so I didn't really have too many problems like with him being a newborn. As he got older, there was more like I think just things in general that like if I went to the store and it's like the worst thing you could do if I'm in the store and I know my baby was cute, like, he is adorable. I understand that. Do not touch my child if you don't know. That was the thing I hated the most, like, people would literally just walk up at the store, and half the time, like, a lot of the time, he was in his car seat just because I didn't want people asking to hold him or I didn't want people touching him that I didn't know. But if he was in his car seat, like, there would literally be people at the store that walk up and like, "Oh, he's so cute." Okay, back up, please. Back up. Because I don't know what your germs are. I hated that so much. But, like, as he got older, he's somewhat friendly, he's somewhat not. So, like, a lot of times, like, when he turned 1, he was, like, super friendly. So, it's waving and, stuff like that. He has gotten out of that, and I love that for him. He was waving, smiling at people. He loved the pacifier, so he had that pacifier up in his mouth up until the week before he turned 2. I was not finna fight with him about that. So, it was just like, "Okay, cool." But there were so many people, like, everywhere we went, they just, like, wanted to just touch him or high five him and all that, and I was just like, "Yeah, no, please don't do that." Like, I carried around hand wipe, sanitizer, all of that, just because it's like, don't touch my child. But I understand like automatic want to go reach for them or grab at them just because they're cute. Like totally get that. But also, you don't know me, I don't know you. Please do not do that. So that was a big boundary that I set, like just in general, like I'm not gonna allow people to get close to him when we're in public settings just because like I said, I don't know what you got going on. You could be sick and not know it. You could have, I don't know. So I did not like that at all. But also, as he's gotten older and as he gets older, he kind of sets his own boundaries. Like we can be in the store and somebody can speak to him. And literally, this one lady, we were at the store and she says, "Bye, little man." And he looks at her. I mean, looks at her so hard and he looks at me because he knows his name. His name is not Little Man. So he was like, "I'm not gonna respond to her." And I was like, "I'm not gonna make you." But then he came to it, he was like, "Bye." And I was like, "All right, well, I mean, he spoke, so that's his business." But he is very he's very intuitive with his own boundaries. So he doesn't he's introverted, just like his parents, but he's not going to just automatically, gravitate towards people. He's just not that kid. Like, he will if he wants to speak to you, he will. If he doesn't, he won't. And I don't force him to at all. Like, I'll be like, if you wanna speak to them? No? Okay, alright. So, it's kinda like I allow him to set his own boundaries now that he's older just because he's 2. He's learning that communication skill. He's learning to kinda know what he wants and what he doesn't want, stuff like that. Like, at home, he will talk. He will talk up a storm. He will argue with you, like, I'll be like, "Hey, do this." "No, no, no, no." And I'll be like, I'm the parent, like, I'm the parent. So, I'll say this, with him, my boundaries are so far off, and I gotta do better with that, but he's just so stinking cute, like, it's hard to, like, actually set stern boundaries with him because if you have a child, you understand what that means, but also, like, I have to kind of be more strict as far as, like, just allowing him to do certain things because he'll do things that he knows is wrong, and he doesn't care because if I laugh at it, he's gonna laugh right with me. But that's neither here nor there. What I mean by that is I allow him to kind of lead, especially socially. Like, he when he's in different settings, it just depends on the person. Like, I have one sister, he will not, like she's like, "I love you so much," but he just won't. And I was like, "I really don't know." Like, I don't know. I can't force him to speak to people. I can't, I just I'm like, "You just gotta let you just be patient." Like, I don't know what to tell you in that aspect, but I have 5 sisters. One of my sisters, he loves, like, he will leave me to go to her, and it's so crazy. I'm like, "Hey, I'm your mommy. Remember you were just holding on to my leg?" He's like, "Girl, I don't care." Like, he loves her. And I think it's funny because she's, like, the sister that's right older than me. So, I don't know if he's like, "Y'all are twins, like, I wanna be with her now." But it's so funny because that is just one person he is always gonna go to. And then I have, other family members where he's just like, "Hey," like, it just doesn't matter. But also, like I said, I don't try to force him to, you know, speak or, "Oh, you gotta hug this person," or whatever. It's just kinda like, I don't know, he's gonna do it on his own time. But then when we're, like, at different places, it's like, if we're at church or something, like I said, he has certain people he speaks to, certain people he doesn't like, and it's just always been like that, like, he's just very particular about who he wants to communicate with. And I'll have people, like, looking at me crazy because I was like, "Hey, he knows all this stuff." Like, he can tell you thing that you like, if you ask him, "Hey, what's your colors?" He'll sit there and tell you. "Hey, what's your numbers?" He'll sit there and tell you. But then it's like when he's out and about and somebody he doesn't really wanna talk to asks him that stuff, he's gonna just look at him. And they're like, "Oh, he doesn't know this stuff." I'm like, "He does. He absolutely does." So then I've gotten to the point where I have to start recording him saying stuff because they don't believe me, and I'm like, "No, he really can talk, like, he just doesn't wanna talk to you." So, that's another thing, like, as a parent that I've realized is you can set your boundaries with your child, but let them set their own boundaries as well because we have this mindset that you have to force your child to, talk to people or you have to force your child to hug family members, and it's like, "No, I'm never going to do that." Like, I don't care who you are, I'm never going to do that. I'm not gonna put my son in a position where he's uncomfortable to make you comfortable, like, I'm not gonna do that. So, when there's times where it's like, "Oh, well, he acts like he doesn't know me." That's your fault, you're the adult, he's the child. So, I let him kinda set his own boundaries in that sense, but also I kinda, you know, subconsciously is like, it's a boundary for me too because I'm like, if he's uncomfortable, I'm not gonna force it, like that as he's gotten older, I've kind of allowed that boundary to form itself just because I don't want my child to ever be in a situation where he's uncomfortable or he feels like, "Mommy, where are you?" Like, "I don't wanna be here. I don't wanna be around these people or whatever, and you weren't here to rescue me." And it's like, "No, I'd rather just not have him around kinda situation at all." Like, I don't care how old he is. He could be 12, and if he doesn't wanna be around you, I'm not gonna force it. But another thing that I think a lot of parents we struggle with boundary wise is kind of not wanting to hurt people's feelings. And I think that for me, I had that at first, but then I didn't care because I had to realize that a lot of the times, like people will pick and choose when they want to be a part of your child's life. And for him, that's not fair. I want you to be consistent in order for me to have the want or need to bring him around you. Like, I've had family members that have literally made the comment, "Oh, I've never even met her child, and you won't." Just because of how you act towards me, I wouldn't put my child through that. Like, he doesn't exist to you. So just keep that, just act like he's not here because I'm not going to bring him around you. Like, and I'm not going to care how you feel about it, what you say about it. he's my child, so I get to dictate that. A lot of times, like, another thing that when we talk about, like, boundaries as far as advice, technology with your child. I am a iPad mom. I paid my money for it. He is going to watch it. Now, with that, he has a lot of kind of boundaries, so you say, with the iPad. I choose what shows he watches, and typically they're gonna be low stimulation shows just because my child is hyper enough. He is very active. He runs from the time he wakes up to the time he goes to sleep. He likes to jump. He likes all the little boy things. He likes to climb off stuff. He likes to throw. He likes to be outside. He likes all of those things. So when it's time for him to like simmer down and sit down, okay, here's your iPad. We're gonna watch a low stimulation show. And typically, like he will sit there and it calms him down. With that, also, he has learning activities that he has to do on the iPad. He has activities like apps for coloring. He has apps for numbers, vocabulary. So all those things, I think for me, I'm okay with him having the iPad just because he learns from it just as much as he learns from everything else he does. So I can sit him down and teach him his colors rather than trying to find different things to keep his attention. He's 2. Their attention spans are very short. So if this gets his attention, then I'm going to use it. This is a tool that helps me. This is a tool that helps him. And I don't really care how people feel about, oh, well, he shouldn't have that. He's my child. And it's not hurting him any because he's not like addicted to it, but it's also something that if I need some time and I'm overstimulated, here you go. We're going to sit down in the chair. You're going to watch your iPad for a little while, and then I'm going to go recuperate, regroup, all that. So I think that that is one boundary that I have set in stone. You can mark it with a pen. Do not give me your opinion about him having an iPad because I do not care. I will literally ignore you, stop talking to you, and go on with my life because that's one thing that me and his dad, who had him, we agree that this is something that's beneficial for our child. Some parents might not agree with that, but luckily he's not your child. So you don't get to dictate that thing. But also with the iPad, we have a lot of kind of ground rules with it because if he's not going to sit on there like all day, he only can watch certain shows on there. So we have a lot of parental controls on there that he doesn't get to like freely roam on it. So, and I have a hard cutoff time. Like if he's watching it at night or whatever, he has a hard cutoff time because the iPad will cut off, and he needs parental control to allow him more time or whatever. So we kind of have had like a lot of success with the iPad. And typically, like if he's going with somebody or whatever the case is, I'll send it and I kind of give them the free reins. Like, hey, I'll put his iPad in his bag. If you want to give it to him, you can, just as a kind of settle down period. But here's the thing, he can only watch certain shows, and there's a lot of different stipulations we have with it. So if you're not trying to do all that, then just don't give it to him. But also, like, if you want to let him watch TV, he can. These are the shows he watches. You can typically, like, all the shows are on YouTube. So just put on YouTube, and then these are the shows that he watches. And that has been very successful as well. So I think a lot of people are on the fence about technology with your child. That's something that we do. So if you don't like that, you probably shouldn't be around our child because he has technology. So that's something that I think as he gets older, that's a boundary that we have set as far as your opinion about it. Like, we don't ask for it. And if you don't like it, then you don't have to watch your child. But also, like, I know a lot of people, like, I think just for me, the only boundary I have with my child is opinions. I will literally, like, stop talking to you over your opinion about my child. Just don't speak on him. A lot of the times we don't subconsciously say things that are offensive to parents, and we don't realize how it affects them. So, like, sometimes, like, if somebody tells me, "Oh, like, I'll say he's bad." Like, and like my mom will always correct me, "He's not bad, he's active." And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I need to stop saying he's bad. He is active. But there are times where, like, we'll go somewhere, and I think, like, older people have this problem, like, they're quick to give you their opinion, and it's like, "I didn't ask you, I won't bring my child around you." Like, that's just me. But, like, they're quick to give you their opinion on what you should and shouldn't be doing with your child, how your child acts and stuff like that, but a lot of the times have changed. So children are a lot different now than they were then, and so just typically keep your opinion to yourself when it comes to my child. That pretty much is like for me, like I said, I'm a very laid back person, but I do have a lot of anxiety when it comes to my son, and that's just how I am, like, in general, but I'm very, like, if you have them, I only let people who I truly trust get my child. So, if I don't trust you, you're not gonna get them. But that's not really something that I have to set boundaries with because I know that anybody who ever watches him, they have the best interest for him. So, that kind of like a kinda no-brainer, like, any other things as far as boundary-wise, I really don't have a lot of them. Like when he was younger, I had those set ones, but all of mines are kinda like the typical no-brainer boundaries, like, they're not gonna be super strict, they're not gonna be super like, "Oh, you can't do this, you have to feed him this food," He picks what he wants to eat, what he wants to drink, and, like, he's super, like I would say, like, he's super good at setting his own boundaries. If he does not want to eat something, he's not gonna eat it. He doesn't like, if people try to sneak him candy, he's not gonna eat it, like, there was one time we were at church and he was just kinda, like, irate, and the lady behind me, she was like, "Here's a piece of candy." I open it and cause like, again, like, I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, no, you can't give him that," or whatever. So I opened it and I was like, "Hey, you want this?" He looks at it, I hand it to him, he looked at it again, he threw it on the floor. And I was like, "Hey, he don't want that." So, it's just, like, typically, he's really good about setting his own boundaries, so I don't have to do it, like, I don't have to be like, "Don't give him candy," or whatever, because he doesn't want it, like, if he wants something, he'll take it, but if he doesn't, he is not gonna get it, like, and I just a lot of time, I just don't force him to do things that he doesn't wanna do, like, that's just me in general, like, I will never force him to do anything he doesn't do. Like, and we're working on, like, sharing, doing tasks, like, I'll tell him, "Hey, go throw your clothes in the trash." He'll go do that. So, he's more than capable of doing the things that he wants to do. He's more than capable of doing the things that he's told to do, like, "Hey, this is something you're gonna do," or whatever. He'll do all those things, but I'm just not, like, a big, like I can't set boundaries with adults, and that's just been a problem with me in general, like, I'm just not that person, so I know for a fact with this cute little kid that he has this cute little face. I'm not gonna set boundaries with him as far as, like, just things that are not that big of a deal. Like, if it's something that he's gonna hurt himself or, that I'm just not gonna tolerate, of course. But simple things, I choose my fights, I choose my battles, and if it's not worth it, I'm not gonna force it, like, force it. That's all I can say is don't force it. Don't force your child to do anything they don't wanna do. Don't force your child to be around people they don't wanna be around. They act out when they're places they don't wanna be, like, or if they're uncomfortable, they're going to react in a certain way. So, I just know for me and my kid, like, I'm not gonna put him in that situation. Set those boundaries with people, set those boundaries with opinions, set those boundaries so you don't have to deal with it. Like, essentially, it's going to all fall on you if you allow people's opinions to dictate how you parent your child, if you allow your child to, kind of struggle with the fact that they're going to be forced to do things they don't want to do, you don't have to. Like, you can be like, you know what? No, I'm not taking my child around this person. I'm not, forcing them to eat certain foods or whatever the case is. Just kind of free flow. This is your life. This is your child. You have the right to dictate things. Like, you have the right to kind of be like, "You know what? No, I'm not gonna take that from somebody. I'm not gonna allow my child to be in that situation." And set your boundaries and stick to them. Like, you don't owe anybody anything, and the fact that people feel like you're obligated to, appease them, you're not at all. So, don't do it. Like, do what's best for your kid, do what's best for you that you can mentally maintain motherhood. Like, it's already overwhelming enough, so don't force things that you don't have to. Don't make yourself struggle in ways that you don't have to. Other than that, that's all I have for today. I didn't forget my mommy juice this time. But until next time, guys, keep sipping your mommy juice, and we will see you next time.